we're live. We're ThinkTech on a given Wednesday. This is Energy Wednesday. Hawaii, the state of clean energy. And this is sponsored by Hawaiian Electric, DBED, the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism. Can you say that fast? Hawaii Energy, Ray Starling is here, my co-host from Hawaii Energy, and the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. And Sharon Moriwaki is probably listening from far away because she's traveling, and she's the co-chair of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. And that warning, that caveat, did you guys hear that? The caveat at the beginning, you know, that the opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the opinions of Salem Communications.
Yes.
It reminds me of what Mike Champley said at the Thursday program last week, which was really hysterical. He said, I want to be clear here, the statements I make, the opinions I give to you here at this lunch and panel program are not necessarily the opinions of the Public Utilities Commission or any of the members of the public. In fact, the opinions I give here today are not necessarily my opinions either. So maybe we ought to give a caveat ourselves. The statements we make today, we may not agree with them either. The opinions we make may not be our opinions. Lord knows. Anyway, so today, aside from Ray Starling, we have Warren Bollmier from the Hawaii Renewable Energy Association. Alliance. HREA. Okay, Alliance. Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance. And Leslie Cole Brooks, who was the executive director of the Hawaii Solar Energy Association. And the title of our show today is The Role of Trade Associations in Energy. We've never tackled that before. They've always been with us kind of in the last few years.
They're so important.
But they are important
to what we're trying to do.
And the question, you know, I want to pose the ultimate question at the beginning of the program is, are they becoming more important or less important? Is their role changing over time? Because everything else is changing, maybe they're changing too, you know?
We ought to let them speak for themselves, but
we can't yet. We're stuck on that because we have to do our housekeeping here. Okay, today we have Derek Sonoda with us. He's going to do the negawatt moment. Why? Because we always do the negawatt moment, and we talk about Hawaii energy and how efficiency is the most important product. And we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about?
Well, Jay, it's good to be here today.
Welcome to the show, Derek.
Thank you very much. Today I want to give the public an update about one of the offerings Hawaii Energy is putting on at the moment. It's called the Building Operator Certification Program. The very first one to launch was on Maui. We actually did a partnership between the University of Hawaii Maui campus, or the SLIM program there, to sponsor 24 people, and this is going to be all trade guys out there for getting to be involved with certification. We want these guys to be certification. Let me explain just a little bit. We have buildings, resorts, all these people. Usually they have one chief engineer and assistant. They actually have engineering degrees. But all the guys below that, they usually come in from wherever they come in from. So this particular program addresses their needs. They put them through this class, it's an H-testing class, and they get a certificate saying, we now know how to operate these millions and millions of dollars of equipment very efficiently and effectively. So this is something we're really proud of. And we did the first. We understand for this particular certification, we are doing telecommunications between Lanai. And 4 people from the 4 seasons on Lanai are getting trained remotely. So this is the first, and a few of them are born and raised on Lanai, so we're very proud of that fact. We also have one starting up here on this island. The first one was just this past weekend, with some more people from this part of the woods, all getting training with the University of Hawaii Manoa campus.
Qu'est-ce que c'est training? What kind of training exactly?
What they actually do is they learn how to operate all the systems in a building. And so we're talking like this building, a very tall building where you have chiller systems, air conditioning systems, fan systems, pumping systems, lighting systems. They go through it, they actually learn the real terminology, they know what the dial and gauges are actually saying to them. By the end of this, they are fully capable of running the system very efficiently, which is the difference. You can run a system to keep it going, to keep complaints down, but you may not be running it at optimal efficiency. So this is what we teach. This is what the class supports. One of the things that we want to put out to the message to this week is all the energy professionals that are out there, please come to the hawaiienergy.com website. On the very bottom, click on our newsletter. We now have a new button for professionals. These are energy professional people. Sign up. So if you want to be informed, like these trade associations are going to talk to you about today, come link up to us and you're going to be blasted with the other thousands of people that are signed up already. So you don't want to be the only one who haven't signed.
You know, I can't resist asking you, how does this relate to BOMA the Building Owners and Managers Association, which you know who are the people that run the big building.
Right.
I mean, are they there? Are they coming? They should be there one way or the other, don't I think?
Well, actually, the people of BOMA, the way that I see them these are the management decision makers.
Yes.
So they go out, they plan everything, they make sure everything is budgeted well and operating well. These guys that were putting this out, these are the guys who are left alone to run the equipment when everybody's at their meetings. And late hours and everything else, they have to make decisions on their own, but we're teaching them how to make the best decision they possibly can for energy efficiency. So to tune it up properly instead of keeping it going.
Okay, suppose I want to attend and educate myself on, you know, building efficiency, which I think is really important because, you know, when you're doing your home or you're doing something really on a smaller level,
Yeah.
it doesn't make that much difference. But when you're talking about, you know, downtown building of 30, 40 stories, who knows what, you know, and thousands of people work inside and millions of square foot, you know, space and systems, whatnot, that makes a big difference.
It does, and this is what I recommend to you. For everybody that's out there and want to get involved with this, come to the Hawaii Energy site because everybody comes to us first. So if you want to be connected on the latest and greatest of technology and education and trainings out there, and we subsidize a majority of everything that we touch, come and sign up on that website over there. You want to get involved.
All I got to do is sign up then.
Just got to sign up. It's a simple couple clicks, put your email address, and you are golden.
And what day is this again?
This particular one, the VOC training, just started. If you're interested in it, come to the Hawaii Energy website, send us an email, and we'll link you up with getting some late startups going.
Okay.
Because they've had one class already, but you can still sneak in.
You guys
And
have
also
any cross-examination for Derek? Go for it, Ray.
No cross-examination. I cross-examine him every day, actually. So, but Derek is right. The folks who are operating these large buildings are crucial to efficiency because you can have the highest efficiency equipment in the world be installed, and the very next day you get an operator who doesn't know what he's doing to operate it, and you got problems. It can be terrible efficiency actually coming out of the equipment, and we want to deal with that by having trained operators who understand what the value to the building and the building ownership and the profitability of that whole enterprise, what that gets from having a high efficiency operator running the show.
It's interesting, you know, years ago, they would have to hire consultants to do this very same kind of consultation and training. Now you guys do it.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm sure the owners are delighted to have this training. I'm sure that you know, the maintenance staff and the engineering staff of these buildings are delighted to find out. I'm sure, you know, because you can always do better.
Well, it's a critical part. If you can have, again, the best equipment in the world, and if the guy who is operating it doesn't know what he's doing, or the gal, as the case may be, you got problems.
So Derek, who does the training? I mean, will you bring him in from Cincinnati or what?
No, this is great questions you asked me. We actually have local energy professionals that are doing the work. So they bring in their real world experience and teach it to these classes. And that is extremely valuable. The students actually get to go on field visits. They go to the facilities where the instructors work, and they learn quite a bit.
Thank you, Derek Sonoda from Hawaii
Thank you.
Energy. We'd love having you down here. We understand when you were a small child you were very shy, but things have changed.
Yeah, I'm still not small.
Actually, Derek was never a small child. Thank you, Derek. Okay, on to our show. We only have 1 minute, but let me sort of make introductions here. Warren, will you take 30 seconds and tell everybody who you are? Warren Bollmier.
Well, I'm the president of the Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance. I've been working in renewables since 1977, 18 of which was in R&D, and then 18 of which has been more or less in advocacy and project development. HRA is composed of a number of companies that actually do stuff, whereas I spend most of my time talking about doing stuff. And if you want me to talk more about our members, I'm happy to do that. Is that a minute?
No, first I want to talk to Leslie. Leslie, tell us about yourself.
Hey, I love to swim. And I'm the executive director of the Hawaii Solar Energy Association. I've been with them since May of 2012. It seems like much longer now. A lot has happened
How the
since
time
then.
goes by.
A time does go by. So short and long at the same time. We're a nonprofit trade organization. We've been here in Hawaii since 1977. So that's advocacy for renewables and solar for 35 years and going strong.
Okay, all right. I think it's an appropriate time for us to take a break, and then we'll come back and hear at length from Warren about exactly who his members are. We'll be watching him, okay? But for now, we're gonna take a break. That's Warren Bollmier and Leslie Cole Brooks and Ray Starling and me, Jay Fidell, on ThinkTech Energy Wednesday, talking about Hawaii, the state of clean energy. And today's title is The Role of Trade Associations in Energy. We'll be right back after this very short break.
I'm Bill Spencer, President of the Hawaii Venture Capital Association. We do monthly luncheon programs with ThinkTech about things that matter to Hawaii entrepreneurs, investors, and business service providers. So join us on the fourth Thursday of every month at the Plaza Club. For information about upcoming events or to join our mailing list, visit hvca.org. See you there.
Aloha, my name is Dan Bauer and I'm the General Manager of the Plaza Club. The Plaza Club is Honolulu's premier business club. We're located in the heart of the financial district on historic Fort Street Mall. On the 20th and 21st floors atop the Pioneer Plaza, our commanding skyline views, along with our award-winning cuisine and service, are known as the place to do business downtown. We offer professional as well as social events and programs to our members and their guests, all tailored to enrich their professional and personal lives and to give them the cutting edge that they deserve in business. Why don't you consider becoming a member of the club? Call me at 531-7788 or come see me and let's talk business and how the Plaza Club can work for you. Again, my name is Dan Bauer. I'm the General Manager of the club and I'm here for you.
I'm
Aloha.
David Day, the host of Asian Review. This is a ThinkTech program in which we take the issues of the Asia-Pacific region, whether they be in business, in foreign policy, in national security, or geopolitics. And we take those issues and we try to probe down in some real depth. Maybe it's not always politically correct, but we get to the truth. We do things that the regular media can't do. And the reason that we can do those things is because we here at ThinkTech have the contacts, we have the network, and we can take the time and explore the issues in depth. Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. here at ThinkTech Hawaii. I'm David Day.
Hi, this is Jay Fidell of ThinkTech. You know, we have some great shows during the business week. We broadcast 2 or 3 times every afternoon between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. I just want to mention also that we have a new show. This is The Arts of Life with Willow Chang. Check it out at 2 to 3 p.m. every Friday. Aloha, this is Jay Fidell.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a physician from the Big Island of Hawaii. I serve in Hawaii State Senate. I've embarked on a new program, Healthcare in Hawaii, here with ThinkTech. It's really a joy to bring in experts from across the state on all issues relating to healthcare. So we'll be coming to you every week with a different expert, different parts of the system, whether it's in government, the private sector, actual physicians. Maybe we'll bring patients here on the show too. Again, my name is Josh Green. This will be Healthcare in Hawaii.
Okay, we're back, we're live, we're ThinkTech Energy Wednesday in Hawaii, the state of clean energy, sponsored by Hawaiian Electric, DBED, Hawaii Energy, represented by Ray Starling right here with me, and the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, represented by Sharon Moriwaki, who is often parts unknown, but will be back someday soon. And our guests are Warren Bollmier of the Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance, and Leslie Cole Brooks, who is who is the executive director of the Hawaii Solar Energy Association, talking about the role of trade associations in energy. But, okay, during the break, we found out something worth following up on. We found that Ray, who is the master of energy efficiency, just came back from Europe, and he mentioned that he'd been in a number of countries, but including especially Germany. Okay, Ray, can you give us a précis on what you learned about how they do energy efficiency, how serious they are about that?
They are quite serious, and they have really gone a lot farther than we have, even though they're solar regime and wind regime are not anywhere close to what we have out here. So it was very inspiring for me to go and see the solar that they've got installed and the wind, and they've made that a high priority within Germany. And as a result, they not only have a lot of it, but they've also gotten involved in the manufacture of the equipment.
Sure.
And that's the thing, that's the clincher, that's the thing that you should go for, is be the center of the universe for selling the equipment that makes wind energy work and makes solar
They make
energy
good
work.
equipment too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
But it was very inspiring. Germany is a great place to visit if you just want to see how they do it over there.
Okay, we should talk about that more offline. And by the way, I think Warren and Leslie and I, we all agree that because you've made this very brief but important report about your trip, you should write it off. I'll go public on that. I don't mind saying so.
I have to talk to my accountant about that.
Anyway, if you want to call in and talk to Ray or Warren or Leslie, you can call us at 296-5467. We're here for you, awaiting your call, because we're all in the greater good. We all care a lot about the greater good. But returning to you, Warren, you said you had members. How many members? What kind of members do you have? And how do they define the role of the Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance?
Well, first off, we have 14 members. I'll explain a little bit about them, but we formed back in December 1995 because having worked at an R&D group called Victor for a while, and
What's the
Pacific
extension?
International Center for High Technology
Thank you.
Research, and 6-letter acronym. You spend a lot of time just
It's a very special acronym.
explaining what it
Yes, it
is.
is.
Yeah. Well, we had run out of money from the feds and the Japanese and the states, so
It's not hard to
I
run out of
wanted-
money from the feds these days.
Yeah,
In fact, it seems more like the rule than the exception.
So I kind of wanted to stay in Hawaii, and then I thought, well, what is it I really wanted to do? And then we noticed this big struggle between wanting to do things seemingly and not getting it done. And then we kind of observed there wasn't really a strong lobbying group for renewables in general. We had HSEA, and at that time, it was guys like Cully, Judd, and Rick Reed. They also became members of HREA, and we said, well, we got to do more about wind and work together on solar. And at that point, HSEA was really small, but then we started out small. As you look at the evolution, it was basically the hot water collectors that you see in or on solar supply is involved.
So
in
that's
that.
what you were working on.
Well, not me specifically. Remember, I said I talked about doing this stuff. Cully was the one that was actually.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Well,
But to keep the tax credits going.
Yeah.
So that we got into that, and we also has to have the original net metering bill introduced in 1996 session. So
God, that was 20 years ago.
yeah, on the DG side, we also have Renewable Energy Services, the installer of PV and hot water, Peter Shackelford on the Big Island, Solar Power Systems International. John Crouch, he was involved in the early years of setting up the wind farms on the Big Island. Now he's trying to do distributed projects. And on the wind side, we have Apollo Energy, which is one of the owners in Tahiri Wind Power, the South Point Wind Farm, and then Javi Renewable Development, on the North Shore, Javi. So both of those on the Big Island, and First Wind, which of course has projects here on Oahu, but also on Maui. And I was actually involved as a consultant helping them on that first one. But as the markets evolved, when the wind farms finally were able to secure, the developers were finally able to secure contracts, more people started getting interested. And at the same time, in large part, I think, due to the assistance of the federal government, all the research they did on PV panels are getting more efficient, the costs are coming down, and you start to see people doing them here. And then of course, with the federal tax credits at 30%, goes back to what, 08 is it? I think the market really started to take off. But at the same time, people were looking to do PV farms in addition to wind farms. So I have a number of, basically they're all independent power producers, IPPs. So we got the three wind farm guys, and First Wind actually is getting into solar now too.
Okay, so it's a broad array.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are historic. They've been around. They've been in in this group for a long time.
Yeah.
So let me ask you.
Well, let me just-
wait. We only have so much time. Let me ask you, what exactly the Alliance does for them? What do you do for them on an ongoing basis?
Well, I lead both our legislative and regulatory adventures, shall we say. And so we've been involved with virtually all of the
Ventures. And you get
renewable
a merit
portfolio.
badge for each horrible thing.
Well, the Boy
I mean,
Scouts.
what can I say? I was an Eagle Scout. Okay, so we work with me
Now everyone knows that.
and Kalani,
that
with the
true?
original RPS, and that, like I said, net metering, getting it right, and then of course we've been involved in something like 30 dockets at the
Okay, so you
Commission.
go to the legislature,
Yeah.
advocate for them for bills that would benefit your members, and I guess against bills that would
and
not
the-
benefit them.
and the citizens of Hawaii. I mean, that's what this is all about. Particularly, one of the big issues now is customer choice. So if we didn't have this overall policy, which is really good, then there wouldn't be this opportunity. And then, of course, we're still lacking some in implementation, but at least now customer choice is starting to be a theme that you're hearing now.
What is customer choice?
Customer choice, like, well, let's see, I think I could pay 35 cents to HECO, or if I put in a PV system, maybe I'd only have to pay 20 cents, so it could save me money. So I choose the 20 cents.
Okay. well,
So with net metering, that's possible, and the policies that we have in place.
All right. So now you also go to the PUC. Are you an intervener or a party at the PUC? Do you
Exactly.
actively litigate over there?
Well,
Maybe it's the wrong word,
I'm not a lawyer, but thanks to a gentleman by the name of Henry Curtis some time back, it became an option to be able to intervene without having legal counsel on the bar here. And keep in mind, most of the important issues that we're talking about today and in the future probably will have been generated through policy passed by the legislature, and then it's handed off to the commission to actually implement. So that was true with RPS, the energy efficiency portfolio standards,
And on-bill financing.
not feed-in tariff, but on-bill financing.
Yeah. Setting the rates, didn't that mean
Well, we don't get involved in rate
for the
cases.
feed-in tariff?
Well, right, that was a whole docket,
Yeah.
That came directly from the energy agreement in 08. That didn't go through the legislature.
Okay, so
That was an
it sounds
exception.
like you embrace this thing on an everyday basis. Warren, is this a full-time job?
Maybe like 1.5.
1.5 time job.
jobs,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, they pay you 1.5 times what they should.
More or less. But I want to also mention, we have a couple biomass companies. You probably heard of Pacific Biodiesel. You may not have heard of
No.
Rentec Clear Fuels. So it's Bob Schleuscher, Pacific Biodiesel,
Yeah,
Bob
sure.
and Kelly King. And then the big utility scale guys, we got SunPower, AES Solar, Sun Edison, and another group.
You have meetings?
We don't have regular meetings. We just sort of have them on call. Keeping an eye on, most of my members are really, really busy.
Is the public invited?
Generally, we haven't made them public.
I guess that's a no.
Right.
Okay.
Now,
Do
we're
you
a 501c.
publish anything?
We're publish anything other than our testimonies before the legislature, and
You have a website,
yeah, we have a website.
so I can go look.
Yeah,
Okay. And you say you're a 501c3
6, which is a
trade
business.
association.
So it's called a business league.
Business league. It's not the same thing as a trade association.
No, not exactly, and the distinction I would make is that most trade associations might be pretty limited in scale. Like you could have one all of solar, and they're really concerned about, I think, promoting that particular industry, and maybe they do help with marketing and all that. That's not stuff that we do with our group, since we're
So
more
I'm a
diverse.
member of the public. I mean, do you claim to represent me? Do you claim to do?
No, I'm not representing the public, I'm representing my members.
That's it.
That's what a trade
But
association...
where do you stand on the greater good, actually, Warren?
Well, that's what we're most interested in. Matter of fact, the reason most of the people that I know, and particularly my members, we started more or less as environmentalists and said, hey, we got to do something different than keep burning, fossil fuel. And so, particularly Kelly Judd, he could have done, he's a Punahou boy, he could have gone off and done all sorts of things, but that's what he said. He chose solar.
What about these other, non-mainstream kinds of renewables? I mean, like, for example, ocean energy, OTEC, hydrogen, geothermal.
Yeah.
Do you have them in the array?
Not right now. And of course, geothermal and hydropower have been long-standing commercial utility scale technologies. And you remember in 1978 when the PURPA law, the Public Utility Regulatory Policy Act, was passed, that made it possible for developers of wind and actually solar, all the renewables, to go talk to utility and try to do stuff. And basically in California, you had a lot of, you had some additional hydro, you had a lot of geothermal, you had some new biomass, and you had initially a lot of wind, and now you're seeing solar.
So if I'm, say, a geothermal company, and I want to be a member of the Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance, can I get to do that?
Well, we have a vetting process, and sometimes we've actually sought membership from companies that we thought would help make us stronger. So, you might think of the way we operate as kind of like we're trying to raise the level of the ocean, and all my guys are in those ships. So when the ocean raises, they'll rise up. And because of what they can do, then you have options for either cheaper electricity sold to the utility, which they resell.
So you wouldn't take just anyone?
That's kind of a good question.
Well, it's okay.
We've never had somebody asked to be in that we refused, put it that way.
I withdraw the question.
We've had our membership. Sort of like the Hawaii Energy Policy Board.
I have my answer.
Okay.
And I also have a break. Okay, I'll let you announce the break. But
Is that what the music means?
that's what the music means.
It's time to take a break.
That's right. You want to do it? Go ahead.
I did. Just
No, you need more.
Well, I
This
don't have
is
a
ThinkTech
script.
Hawaii Energy Wednesday, Hawaii, the state of clean energy, with Warren Bollmier, Leslie Cole Brooks, who we're going to talk to next. Get ready. Okay, the role of trade associations in energy with my co-host, Ray Starling. We'll be right back after this break. Is that okay, Warren?
It sounds good to me.
Thanks.
Aloha, I'm Nicole Hori for ThinkTech. For nearly half a century, the Hawaii Foreign Trade Zone No. 9 has brought the benefits of the Foreign Trade Zone program to Hawaii businesses and entrepreneurs. DBET, the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism, operates Hawaii's Foreign Trade Zone program to encourage international business and economic development. The Foreign Trade Zone's mission is to increase the amount of international trading activity in Hawaii, thereby providing employment opportunities for the residents of our island state. For more information, see ftz9.org. I'm Nicole Hori. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Jay Fidell. This is ThinkTech Hawaii, broadcasting live from the Pioneer Plaza in downtown Honolulu. We raise public awareness about tech, energy, and globalism in Hawaii. Technology is critical to our state. A vibrant tech sector will give us new prospects in the global marketplace and will offer great careers and make our economy more resilient. Streaming live on Ustream and Spreaker, ThinkTech allows its hosts and guests invaluable opportunities to report important events and discuss important questions, and to be heard here in Hawaii and around the world. You can find links to our live streams on thinktechhawaii.com or on our mobile website, m.thinktechhawaii.com. And you can see our archive on YouTube. It's all just a click away. We want to do whatever we can to keep Hawaii relevant, connected, and thriving in the complexity of the 21st century. We hope you will help us in those efforts. Tune in today. This is ThinkTech. I'm Jay Fidell. Mahalo.
Aloha, I'm Hong Jiang at ThinkTech. I'm a host for Asia in Review on Tuesday afternoon between 4 to 5 p.m. At our programs, we learn about what's happening in Asia and why it is important for you to know about it. So I'm Hong Jiang, and I'll see you there.
Hi, thank you for tuning in. My name is Attila Saras, and I'm the host for ThinkTech Fridays. Join us online 24/7, 365 days a year at thinktechhawaii.com. We're talking about things that matter to Hawaii and around the world. My name again is Attila Saras, and I'm the host for ThinkTech Fridays.
live. We're ThinkTech on a Wednesday, Energy Wednesday, Hawaii, the state of clean energy, with Warren Bollmier of the Hawaii Renewable Energy Alliance and Leslie Cole Brooks of the Hawaii Solar Energy Association, talking about the role of trade associations, whether at 501c6 or, are you 6 also?
We're 6.
Six, that's two sixes.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, and so the next up is Leslie. And Leslie, we want to ask you to give us a précis of what's going on. What is the Hawaii Solar Energy Association?
Well, we're a nonprofit trade organization, as you said. We were incorporated in 1977. We have installers, manufacturers, distributors, the utility, attorneys, accountants, everybody basically who has anything to do with the solar industry. And we advocate for solar hot water and PV. Which is unique, I think, that other organizations that talk about solar, they usually mean they're just doing PV, and we do the whole thing. Our members range from rooftop DG, distributed generation, to utility scale as well. Some of our members who are larger, I don't really want to name any particular one because we have so many, it wouldn't be fair and I couldn't name them all. So this isn't, I'm big on fairness. Fairness is really gets me, and so I'm just going to say that some of our members do rooftop and utility scale, others just do rooftop. I was away for a little while. When I left, we had, I think, 73 members, but we've been growing strong.
You spent your time at a laundromat, as I remember.
I was at a laundromat.
Yeah.
For part of the time, and it was quite seedy, and I was afraid to leave my clothes during the spin cycle.
Some people go to Germany and France, other people go to the laundromat. What kind of a vacation? Never mind.
No. It's because I was someplace that had no electricity, no phone, no internet, no people, 7,000 feet, the most beautiful little swimming lake on the whole planet. And
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was wonderful, but you do have to come back for supplies once in a while. So.
Okay, well, moving right along.
So, but I'm back now. Anyway, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I want to get deeper into this.
Good, please.
So trade associations, for a long time, honestly, they didn't seem to have a lot of clout, and especially the Solar Association. Everybody saw it as a bunch of installers installing and doing door-to-door sales and trying to put solar everywhere, but it wasn't going to change state policy that much. And the efforts over the tax credits, that was hard, still is. But now it seems to me, and one of the things that came up in the program that you moderated last Thursday, in my view anyway, and Warren, I'm sorry you weren't there, is that now solar, and thus the Solar Association, is a bigger player. It's got $1 billion of revenue under its belt. It's got a lot of members. It's got a lot of clout. People listen when you speak, Leslie. It's different.
That's good.
So I mean, what's happening is it's changing. I always say this: you have to watch all the planets in the constellation, and the planets include you, Ray. Hawaii's energy, and they include the PUC, obviously. They include the legislature. They include DBED and the energy office there, Mark Lick and so forth. They include the consumer advocate. I don't know, I'm probably missing some stuff. And they also include the trade association. They include Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, for sure. There are a lot of planets in the constellation. So my question to you, Leslie, is how is the role, the positioning, if you will, of the Solar Energy Association changing with the change of, solar and all the other planets?
Well, I think it is becoming much more important and just vital to our growth here in Hawaii as we meet our clean energy goals. Just talking about your saying this revenue, we are, as of last year, 26% of all the construction income in the state. So if you want to talk just about clout in terms of just money and what makes the state move forward with our taxes and general excise tax and all that kind of thing, the solar industry has a big part in that. But more importantly, I think, is the urgency for us to meet our clean energy goals and to take the most advantage of tax credits and the federal tax credit and everything that we have in order to put in as much renewable energy as we can. Because, as I think we're probably all preaching to the saved here.
No, well, I think one of the things that came up on Thursday You know, I forgot to mention that the sun, if you will, of this constellation is Hiko, or Heko, as it was.
Would you call it the sun?
Pretty funny.
I think I'd assign it another planet.
Well, I mean, I think the utility remains the most important energy organization in the state. Yes, go on, Warren.
Yeah.
I thought the sun was the sun and we're all planets of different sizes, but that,
Okay, well,
that's my take on it.
having considered and rejected that notion. So I'm just saying that Hiko is, Hawaiian Electric is a big part of all of this. And no matter what we say, and it's the guy that puts the lights on for most people in the morning, and without it, we would be in terrible shape. You know, when I wake up in the morning, you know, because I'm close to energy, because of this show and all that, I wake up and I, just like Scott's shoe, I'm so happy that the lights work, you know. And I think we have to see the utility as very central in that. And some of the rap that the utility has gotten, you know, seems to me to be a bum rap. So I don't know if we're all in the same place. We certainly aren't all in the same place in the program last Thursday. There was a fair amount of contention about who should do what going forward. And I think we're going to have to iron those things out. And maybe they will get ironed out. I had the positive sense myself, the optimistic sense, if you will, that the program represented a lot of agreement on some common points, although there was disagreement too, and that ultimately it was a healthy experience to have the conversation and try to get people on the same page. But I think we're at a tipping point, a turning point, if you will, and that's the thing where the trade associations would play a role or not in trying to bring all the parties together, right?
Well, I just say, don't you agree that the two organizations that are represented here today are a major reason why there are changes going on that is going to move us towards clean energy? Because I don't think it would have happened without the strong alliances that they have formed to push us. You know, we've got a lot of momentum that we've got to get going to turn this ship around off of the fossil fuels.
They're definitely players. But I mean, you have to look at all the constellations.
I don't think it would have happened without their members and the associations themselves, because it was too big of a rock to move without the help of these associations.
You're implying that that we moved it?
I think it's beginning to move. Yes, I think that's the good news. But I don't think it would have moved had we not had the strong forces.
I love this show. I love when you come on this show, right?
And the other thing too, and actually what I was trying to say.
Be fair. He's raising his hand. He's being so nice.
Yeah, but Warren just talked for the longest time.
Warren could steal the show in 1 minute. That's why we only give him 1 minute. Warren, what was your point?
Well, I think because of the action, various parties promoting renewables and environmentalists, it wasn't just HREA and HSCA. It was all these other groups, Sierra Club, Life on Land. It stirred up a lot of interest, and coincidentally that led to the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum.
Sure.
And subsequently, I think that sets the stage for the Clean Energy Initiative.
Do you agree with me that we're at a tipping point?
Or an inflection point. The tipping point kind of means like it might go way south.
No.
Yeah.
No, nobody thinks that. Yeah.
We've been in an inflection point for some years now, so we'd like to.
Okay, Leslie, I'm sorry I interrupted. So why don't you make the point you want?
I just, we kind of went down that other road there. What I was trying to say is, in terms of us being in agreement, is that fossil fuels are on their way out. And that Hawaii, because of where we are and because of the electric rates just because of the nature of everything about the system here, is that we need to do something about it. We need to have renewables. And I think everyone agrees with that. And I forgot to mention that I love to swim, as I'm a geologist by training. And
You're a geologist, I remember you said that.
Yeah, and if you want to get back on my good side, bring me a really nice rock. That's kind of, that's a good
Geology rocks.
Yeah, we love rocks. So we need to move forward. So when you say, are we more or less important, we're more important because of the urgency of the depletion of fossil fuels and the competition for them worldwide.
You guys work together, by the way? You talk to each other? You and Warren?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
How often?
Geez, during the legend, every day.
Did you talk to him from the laundromat?
No.
Well,
No, I didn't.
I didn't know the phone number, and
I can tell that that's going to follow me for a long time.
Well,
So be it.
I would like to know how
Cold, all
how
cold,
you
and I
guys-
like to use Tide.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to know how you guys see this going forward when we really haven't solved the storage problem yet. You know, you keep on pumping clean energy onto a grid that can't handle it. What are we going to do about that? It's not a bottomless pit. Hey?
No, it's not. No, and the storage, talk about a tipping point on that.
I think exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, you can't keep on piling it on there. It just won't take it. So, and people don't really, I don't think the public really understands that. You know, because when the guys go out and sell solar, they don't tell them that there is actually somewhere in science, there is a limit. They think, oh, gee, if the utility company doesn't want to take it for its own, reasons, but in fact, somewhere out there is a limit. Warren,
so there's a break coming on, yeah.
I want you
feel
to
it.
have your day, Warren. I always do. But right now, why don't we let Leslie call this one? Leslie, tell the people that there's a break.
This is ThinkTech Hawaii. We're here talking about energy and the role of trade associations. There's so much to say, not enough time to say it. The music is playing.
You're fired.
We're going off into a break, and God knows what's going to happen next.
Okay, that's Leslie Cole Brooks. She's here with Warren Bollmier. They're both doing a great job talking about the role of trade associations in energy here on Energy Wednesday. We'll be right back after this break.
We want to thank our underwriters. Hawaiian Electric Company and its affiliates Maui Electric on Maui and Hawaii Electric Light Company on Hawaii Island are deeply committed to the communities they serve. Galen Ho is a senior executive of BAE Systems, a global defense, security, and aerospace company. The High-Tech Development Corporation, the state's leading technology agency, attached to the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism. Castle and Cook Hawaii, with a time-honored legacy that spans more than 160 years and revolves around its mission of investing in Hawaii, creating communities, and providing for the needs of our state. Hawaii Gas, formerly the Gas Company, a proponent of the Liquefied Natural Gas Initiative, helping Hawaii achieve its transition to clean energy and a better energy future. Collateral Analytics, a Hawaii-based tech company empowering the real estate industry with greater and faster access to the tools and data they need to make better informed property investment decisions. I'm Nicole Hori. Thanks so much for joining us on ThinkTech. I'm Maria Kashem. See you next time.
Aloha, I'm Sharon Moriwaki with the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. Please join Jay Fidell and me every Wednesday, 4 o'clock p.m. on Energy Wednesday. See you then.
My name is Dan Bauer, and I'm the General Manager of the Plaza Club. The Plaza Club is Honolulu's premier business club. We're located in the heart of the financial district on historic Fort Street Mall. On the 20th and 21st floors atop the Pioneer Plaza, our commanding skyline views, along with our award-winning cuisine and service, are known as the place to do business downtown. We offer professional as well as social events and programs to our members and their guests, all tailored to enrich their professional and personal lives and to give them the cutting edge that they deserve in business. Why don't you consider becoming a member of the club? Call me at 531-7788 or come see me and let's talk business and how the Plaza Club can work for you. Again, my name is Dan Bauer. I'm the General Manager of the club, and I'm here for you.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a physician from the Big Island of Hawaii. I serve in Hawaii State Senate. I've embarked on a new program, Healthcare in Hawaii, here with ThinkTech. It's really a joy to bring in experts from across the state on all issues relating to healthcare. So we'll be coming to you every week with a different expert, different parts of the system, whether it's in government, the private sector, actual physicians. Maybe we'll bring patients here on the show too. Again, my name is Josh Green. This will be Healthcare in Hawaii.
Aloha, I'm Jay Fidell of ThinkTech. On Wednesday, September 4th, we have an interesting show with Donna Blanchard. She's the host of Arts in Hawaii, 2 to 3 p.m. that day. And her guest is Jeff Geer. He's an international storyteller, and he tells stories about Hawaii. So check it out on ThinkTech, September 4th, 2 to 3 p.m. I'm Jay Fidell. I'll see you there. Mahalo. you, Jack Waters. Thank you, Leah Rodriguez, for this show. I want to, we're at ThinkTech Energy Wednesday. We're talking about the role of trade associations in energy, and we were talking with Warren Bollmier and Leslie Cole Brooks. And the question, before the House is, what are we going to do about, this scientific limit of how much you can pile on the grid? We're going to do, and more specifically, you guys, are you going to suggest some answers to that? What answers would you suggest today? What is your plan on dealing with that? After all, we're talking about the common good. Okay? So, what?
Right. Well, I think that the answer to that question is, what's the answer? Because we don't know what the limit of the grid is. We don't know what happens. We started with, on a circuit, you were limited by 50% of the minimum daytime load, then it went up to 75, now it's 100 in some places, then we talk about 15% of the peak load on the circuit. But when you try to track down an engineer to just explain why 15%, I've heard things from, well, we just thought that was a good start
But you agree,
there.
Leslie, there is a limit. It's not a bottomless pit.
Well, there is a limit right now because
No, I'll never forget. We did
but we don't know what it is, and that's the problem.
But so you have to find
so-
an answer to it.
Yeah, we do, and we need to find it soon.
Yes, well,
not
that's true.
in a couple of years from now, or not in 3 or 4
I
years.
remember
from now.
we
So-
interviewed Sharon Moriwaki and I interviewed a young high school kid in Lanai. We went to their energy day there with a camera, and we said to her, you understand that without that if you had, she said, everything's solar. That's what the Lanai thing was. Everything's solar. So if you have everything solar, there's no energy at night, and if you have no energy at night, there's not too much you can do. You can't watch television. You can't play computer games. It's like really quiet. She says, that's okay. She says, we'll go to sleep early. That's not a solution. Although, I mean, for some people,
For
maybe
some
it
people,
is.
it might be a solution. So no, clearly without battery storage, some way in order to provide, the load after the sun goes down, that there is a limit right there. But in terms of the limit during the day and how much can be on, and there are a lot of things that solar and other renewables can do that counter the impacts of the intermittency, that deal with the grid saturation and load, and there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. And
Right, but I mean, if you say that the solution is collaborative, then it seems to me that the Solar Energy Association
Well-
anyway would want to actually get into the decision process with some positive suggestions.
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, we're on the feed-in tariff, the IRP, the RSWG, the on-bill, the decoupling. We're covering 5
I don't
PUC
mean
dockets.
that. I
I
mean-
consider that collaborative.
No. I mean, how you solve the problem of having more renewable energy than demand at a given point.
Well, I just told
in
you the
day.
first step, which is to get the data that we need to find out what needs to be done with the grid in order to accept more renewables, and also to have more information on other proposals for solar, for instance, by if you oversize the system, then it deals with the peaks and valleys of intermittency. There's a lot to be done, but we can't go into the utilities lines and kind of push them aside and say we've come in to do studies on your lines. I mean, there's a point where the utility needs to do these studies, and we're collaborating by helping and being part of these dockets.
Everybody talks about studies,
So-
but what about conceptually? What do you suggest?
What do I suggest in terms of what needs to be done to the grid? Well, first we need to find out what the capacity is and what happens when you have intermittence.
Well, conceptually, though.
Well, I'm not an engineer. I don't really want to leap in
No, I'm not asking.
and
I'm
design
not
it
asking you
here.
to be an engineer.
Well, I think that question begs a technical scientific answer.
Okay. Warren, do you
So-
have a suggestion on this?
Well, I started out as an engineer, and now I consider
All
myself
right,
to
Warren.
be in recovery. But I think the context right now, and whether it's a tipping point or an inflection point, is what's happening within the IRP, that's the Integrated Resource Planning process.
Yes.
We went through this year of extensive interaction between the advisory group. We were both on the advisory group and utility, and they ended up delivering a 2,000-page report with action plans to the commission and the independent entity they got by the name of Carl Friedman that was trying to facilitate all this. He did a great job as a facilitator, by the way. But
He was great.
But he had in the
checked
end he
the
had
IRP,
to certify whether or not the process and ECO's role on that was done according to the framework, and he couldn't. And so as of last Friday, no, Monday, the 30th, we, meaning the parties and the new docket, excuse me, the docket on IRP, okay, 2012-0036, if you want to look it up.
That one, my wife and I speak of little else at dinner.
Yeah.
What is it? What is that
Very
docket?
exciting reading, and particularly late at night.
What is that docket? What is it?
Well, the integrated resource planning docket is we spent a year trying to help the utility, with all our suggestion, all that. They were the ones under the gun to deliver the actual filing, and that opened the contested phase. The first phase of the docket was actually administrative, so it was informal. So we all submitted our various ideas. I haven't had a chance to read everybody's yet, but I think the idea is to try to come up with some sort of modifications to that, what was delivered by HECO, and that would be compliant with the framework, and also in a way that it would not slow us down too much. But there's some additional analysis that needs to be done that would answer some of the questions that you just raised. But let me put it in a more simplified manner. I think we've come to the point with our grids on each island. It's sort of like a house that we want to live in. What is it? What kind of house do we want to live in? Because right now we've been putting in distributed generation, we've been putting utility scales wherever people want it, in the case of rooftop, or where developers think, oh yeah, I can put this in, I can make money, which is good, and it'll benefit the ratepayer. But it's like we have to figure out, are there hard limits? And as you pointed out, without storage, there may be some really hard limits, but they're somewhere around 100% probably. I mean, if we wanted to produce hydrogen, then we could go 150%, if we had a market for that. And I'm not just being facetious on that, okay? But it's not just batteries. I think batteries will have a role for yet to be determined. This is a general area that we identified in the Reliability Standards Working Group that we call ancillary services. Those are technologies and equipment in particular that, when installed, can help keep the grid reliable. They tend to go beyond where we are on the grid. They go beyond the capability of the current system to follow the load, because the machines, the rotating machines we have that are diesels and gas turbines, as a group, they're not fast enough to respond. So you could use batteries in various places to help that, but in a broader sense, to help the guys that want to do PV, yeah, they could have their own battery if they wanted, then that'd be one option. Right now, the utilities, they're battery, right? But then we need to be able to have larger systems, so that's why you hear me talk about pump storage, that allow us to take advantage of the wind at night to pump water up the hill so that you can bring it down wherever you need it.
We talked about pump storage for a long time, but there hasn't been any movement at all on that.
Well, the utility hasn't shown much interest in this area.
Has anybody else?
Well, one of my members has, because he's done pump storage in a number of places. The thing is, and this preceded my time in Hawaii, going back before 1990.
Actually, this all precedes your
studies
time,
of that,
because
yeah.
in fact we're out of time.
Yeah.
I think the big question, Ray, I'd like you to close in your comments about how the show went. You only have less than a minute, but go for it, okay?
Well, I think we need version 2 of this. We need to bring them back, and let's continue this conversation. It's been a great day, and I really appreciate both of you being here, and we welcome your return.
Yeah,
Anytime soon.
we're going to come up with solutions and innovations. Warren Bollmier, Leslie Cole Brooks, Ray Starling, my co-host, ThinkTech Energy Wednesday, Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, the role of trade associations in energy. Great discussion, you guys. Thank you so much for your time, for coming down and sharing your ideas with us.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Happy to come back.
say aloha, Mr.
Thank you. Aloha, everybody.
Thank you, Ray.
So long, Jay.